Hey everyone!
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Hannah Daily English, the podcast where we help you speak English the way real people actually speak it, not the way a textbook tells you to.
Hey, so happy to be here with you today. I am James, and I'm sitting here with Hannah, and honestly, we have one of those topics today that I feel like every English learner asks about at some point.
Yes, this is one of those topics that comes up again and again, and people think they know it, but then they use it in a conversation, and something just feels a little off. And today, we are going to fix that.
We are talking about can and could. Two little words, so small, but they cause so much confusion.
They really do. And you know what the funny thing is? Even advanced learners sometimes mix these up. Or they use one when the other sounds more natural. So today, we are going to clear all of that up.
By the end of this episode, you are going to understand how native speakers actually use can and could in everyday conversation. You'll know when to use which one, how to sound more natural and polite, and you'll feel much more confident using both of them.
I love that. And before we jump in, I want to ask you a question. Right now, in your head, what do you think the difference is between can and could? Go ahead and think about it for a second, and then write your answer in the comments. I would love to see what you already know.
Yes, write it down. And also, if you are enjoying this podcast, please like this episode and subscribe to Hannah Daily English. It really helps us reach more learners just like you.
It means the world to us. Okay, James, let's do this. Let's start from the very beginning.
Let's go.
Okay, so the first thing most people learn about can is that it talks about ability, something you are able to do. The structure is really simple. Subject plus can plus the base form of the verb. No to, just the plain verb.
Right, so it's not I can to swim, it's just I can swim. That's it.
Exactly. So some examples. I can speak English. She can drive a car. We can meet tomorrow.
Simple, clean, easy. And you know what? I think a lot of learners actually get this part right. It's when we start talking about the other uses that things get a little tricky.
Yes. So let's talk about the second big use of can, and that is asking for permission or giving permission. So for example, if you're in a meeting and you want to leave early, you might say, "Can I leave a little early today?" That's you asking if it's okay.
Or a parent says to their kid, you can watch TV after you finish your homework. That's the parent giving permission.
Right. So can is used a lot in everyday casual situations to ask for and give permission. Now here's where it starts to get interesting. Could can also do this job, but the feeling is slightly different.
Tell me more.
So if you say, "Can I use your phone?" that's perfectly fine. It's direct and casual. But if you say, "Could I use your phone?" it sounds a little softer, a little more polite, like you're being extra careful not to impose.
Oh yes, I totally feel that difference. Could I has that gentle quality, right? Like you're almost being a little shy about it.
Yes, exactly. Now, here is a practice moment for you. I want you to say this sentence out loud right now. Can I ask you something? Now, say it as, could I ask you something? Do you feel the difference? Say both out loud. Write in the comments which one feels more natural to you in your language.
Oh, I love that exercise. So we've got can for ability and can for asking and giving permission in casual situations. Let me also quickly mention the negative form because that's important.
Good point. So the negative of can is cannot, or the short form can't. I can't come to the party. She can't drive. We can't find the keys. Super common. Super natural.
And the negative of could is couldn't. I couldn't understand what he said. She couldn't finish her homework. They couldn't agree on anything.
Now, I want to be real with you here. When I was first learning French years ago, I kept mixing up the present and past versions of these modal verbs, and it made my sentences sound strange. And I promise you, it's such a normal thing to do. You're going to make mistakes with can and could, and that is completely fine.
100%. Learning is messy, and that is okay.
So let's do a quick check. Can you tell me what these sentences mean? I can speak Spanish versus I could speak Spanish when I was a child. Write those in the comments and tell me what's the difference. We're going to come back to that in the next section. Okay, James, so let's talk about one of the most important uses of could, and that is talking about past ability. Things you were able to do before, but maybe you can't now, or things that were possible in the past.
Right. So the structure here is the same. Subject plus could plus base verb. When I was young, I could run really fast. She could speak 3 languages as a child. He could eat anything and never gain weight. Lucky guy.
That last one is very relatable. So could, in this case, means the person had the ability in the past. It's like the past version of can.
And this is actually where a lot of learners make a really common mistake. They use can when they should use could for past situations. So they say something like, when I was a child, I can play outside all day. But that sounds wrong to native speakers.
Yes, the correct version is when I was a child, I could play outside all day because we're talking about the past. Could is the past form here.
Now here is where it gets really interesting. Could is also used for polite requests. This is a big one for everyday conversation. When you want to ask someone to do something for you, using could makes it sound more respectful and gentle.
So instead of saying, can you help me, you say, could you help me? Both are fine, but could you help me sounds warmer, more considerate.
I use this all the time at work. If I'm sending an email or asking a colleague for something, I almost always use could. Could you send me that report? Could you let me know by Friday? It just sounds more professional and polite.
Yes, and here's a tip. In more formal situations, like at work, in a job interview, or when talking to someone you don't know very well, go with could. In casual situations with friends and family, can is totally fine.
That's a really good rule of thumb. Formal equals could, casual equals can.
Now, let me give you a little game. I'm going to give you a situation, and you decide would you use can or could. Ready?
Ready.
Situation 1. You're texting your best friend. You want to borrow their jacket. What do you say?
Oh, easy. Hey, can I borrow your jacket? Super casual. Can all the way.
Perfect. Situation 2. You're in a job interview. You want to ask the interviewer a question about the role. What do you say?
I would definitely say, could I ask a question about the position? Could because it's formal and I want to make a good impression.
Exactly right. Now you try it at home. Think of a situation at your job or at school and write a sentence using could. Drop it in the comments. I want to read them.
First, use the past ability meaning. Second, use it for a polite work request. Third, try writing a casual request to a friend with can. 3 sentences. You can do it.
So we've covered ability and we've covered polite requests. Now let's talk about something that really trips people up, and that's using could to talk about possibility. Things that might happen, things that are not certain but are possible.
Oh, yes, this is such a big one. Like when you're making plans and you're not 100% sure about something. It could rain tomorrow, so bring an umbrella. You're not saying it will definitely rain, you're saying there's a chance.
Exactly. He could be stuck in traffic. She could have forgotten about the meeting. That could be the answer. In all of these, could is expressing uncertainty, a possibility.
And this is different from can. If you say it can rain in April, you're talking about something that is generally possible, like a general fact about the weather. But if you say it could rain tomorrow, you mean specifically that tomorrow there's a real chance.
That's a really nice distinction. Write that down if you can. Can for general facts, could for specific possibilities.
Now, another really practical use of could is for making suggestions. This is super useful in everyday conversation. Instead of just saying, do this, or you should do this, which can sound a bit bossy, you say, you could try this.
Right. You could call the doctor and ask. We could go to that new restaurant on Friday. You could take the subway instead of driving. It's a way of offering an idea without forcing it on the other person.
It's gentler. It gives the other person a choice. I think this is something native speakers do all the time without even thinking about it, but it makes a huge difference in how natural you sound.
Let me give you a real scenario. Your friend says they've been feeling really stressed lately. You want to suggest some things they could do. How would you phrase it?
I would say something like, you could try going for a walk in the evening. You could also talk to someone you trust. Or you could just take one day at a time. All of those use could as a suggestion, and they all feel kind and supportive, not preachy.
Love that. Now, here's your mini practice. I want you to suggest 3 things to someone who wants to improve their English. Use could for each suggestion. Say them out loud right now, and then write your favorite one in the comments below.
This is great practice because you'll actually use this structure in real life all the time. Anytime you're advising a friend, making plans with someone, or trying to be polite and helpful, you'll use could with suggestions.
So, to review this section, could is used for expressing possibility, something that might happen or might be true. It's also used for making suggestions in a gentle, non-pushy way, and it works beautifully together with everything we've already talked about.
Okay, now we get to my favorite part of every episode, and that is the common mistakes section. I love this part because honestly, I'm going to be upfront. I've made all of these mistakes in other languages, and it's fine. Mistakes are how you learn.
So true. Okay, let's go through the big ones. Mistake number 1, using can when you mean could for past situations.
This one is so common. Learners say, yesterday I can finish all my work. But that's wrong. Yesterday is past, so you need could. Yesterday I could finish all my work. Or even better in this case, yesterday I was able to finish all my work, because could for past ability sounds more natural in some specific past situations.
Yes, a good rule. For a specific completed action in the past, we often prefer was able to rather than could. I could swim when I was young, sounds natural, but I could finish the project yesterday sounds a little awkward. You'd say, I was able to finish the project yesterday.
That's a really useful tip. If it's a general past ability, could works great. If it's one specific event that happened, was able to is more natural.
Mistake number 2, using could when you want to say something is definitely possible right now. So for example, someone asks, can you speak French? And the learner answers, I could speak a little. That's technically not wrong, but it sounds like you used to speak French, not that you speak a little now. If you can do something now, use can. I can speak a little French.
Right. Could imply something past or uncertain. Can is for now, for the present ability.
Mistake number 3, over politeness in casual situations. We talked about how could is more polite and formal, but sometimes learners use could in situations that sounds too stiff, like texting a close friend, could you please come over tonight? That sounds a little formal for a text to your best friend. You'd just say, can you come over tonight? Or even just come over tonight.
Yes, context really matters. You don't want to sound like you're writing a business letter to your best friend.
Mistake number 4, leaving out the base verb and accidentally using the wrong form. Learners sometimes say, I could going to the store, or she can to help. Remember, after can and could, always use the base form of the verb. No to, no ing, just the plain verb. I could go, she can help. Simple.
Let's do a quick practice for each one. Can you spot the mistake in this sentence? When I was little, I can speak 2 languages. Write the correct version in the comments. Go ahead. I believe in you.
And one more. I could speak English very well right now. Is that natural? Think about it. The answer is probably not, unless you're talking about an old ability or a hypothetical. For right now, you'd say, I can speak English very well.
Excellent. These are the kinds of small things that make a real difference in how natural you sound.
All right, time for interactive practice. This is the part where you actually try using what you've learned. James is going to give situations, and we're going to choose the correct option. And I want you to say your answer out loud before we give the answer.
Okay, situation 1. You are calling a doctor's office for the first time. You want to make an appointment. Do you say A, can I make an appointment? Or B, could I make an appointment?
Say your answer out loud.
The answer is B. Could I make an appointment is more appropriate here because it's a formal setting and you're talking to someone you don't know. It sounds more respectful.
Situation 2. Your little sister asks if she can stay up past her bedtime. You are telling her yes, she is allowed. Do you say A, you could stay up until 9, or B, you can stay up until 9?
Say your answer.
The answer is B. You can stay up until 9 is the natural way to give permission. You could would imply it's just a possibility, not a clear yes.
Situation 3. You're not sure if your colleague will be at the office today. You say A, he can be working from home today, or B, he could be working from home today.
And your answer is?
B, he could be working from home today because you're expressing uncertainty, a possibility. That's exactly what could is for.
Situation 4. You want to suggest that your friend tries meditation to reduce stress. Do you say A, you can try meditation, or B, you could try meditation?
Both are actually possible here, but B, you could try meditation, sounds softer and more like a gentle suggestion. A is not wrong, but it sounds more like you're telling them what is possible, not suggesting it kindly.
Great work. Now here is your challenge. Create your own sentence, one using can and one using could, from your real life right now. Something you can do today. Something you could possibly do this week. Write both in the comments. Your sentences are always my favorite part of the comments section.
Mine too. Real-life sentences are the best because they show you're actually using the language, not just studying it.
Okay, we have covered so much today, and I am honestly so proud of everyone who made it to this part of the episode, because this is where it all comes together.
Let's do a quick review of what we learned today. First, can is used for present ability, for casual permission, and for general possibilities. It's your everyday, friendly word.
Second, could is the past form of can when you're talking about things you were able to do before, and it's also used for making polite, formal requests. And third, could is used for expressing uncertainty, things that might be true or might happen, and it's perfect for gentle suggestions.
3 very different uses, but they all make sense once you understand the feeling behind each word.
Now, here's a question for you to think about and maybe answer in the comments. In your language, is there a similar distinction? Is there one word that does the job of both can and could? Or do you have different words for these situations?
I love that question because thinking about how your own language works can help you understand English better. It's not about translating word for word, it's about understanding the concept.
Absolutely. Now, if you found today's episode helpful, please like this video or podcast. It genuinely helps us keep making content for you. And please share it with a friend who's also learning English. You'd be doing them a huge favor.
And subscribe to Hana Daily English if you haven't already. We have new episodes every week, and every single one is designed to help you speak English naturally and confidently.
Leave your practice sentences in the comments. Leave your questions there, too. We read every single comment, and we love hearing from you.
And please remember this, learning a language takes time. You are not going to master can and could overnight, and that is completely okay. Every time you practice, every time you make a mistake and notice it, you are getting better. You are making progress.
That is so true. Progress is not always loud or obvious, but it is always happening when you keep showing up and keep practicing. And you are here, which means you are already doing the right thing.
We believe in you. We really do. This stuff is not easy, but you are capable of it. Every single one of you listening right now.
Thank you so much for spending this time with us today. It means everything. We will see you in the next episode. Until then, keep practicing, keep speaking, and remember, every sentence you say in English is a win.
See you next time, everyone. Bye for now.
Bye-bye.